Very good morning, students. In today's class, I would like to teach a beautiful concept, batteries. So come to the batteries. First we start introduction. Here first, a battery means a device that consisting of one or more electrical cells that are connected in series or parallel or sometimes both, and it convert the chemical energy into electrical energy. Here every battery is basically said to be a galvanic cell where redox reactions taking place between the two electrodes and it act as a source of the chemical energy. Here redox reactions include both oxidation and reduction. Basically, a battery is said to have three major parts. They are anode, cathode and electrolyte. Come to the major parts of the battery. Here it is a basic structure of the battery that include the major parts like anode, cathode and electrolyte. Here at anode the reaction always taking place an oxidation. So anodic reaction is always an oxidation reaction and it releases electrons. In this device the anode is said to have negative electrode. That means while acting as electrochemical cell, the anode should be treated as negative electrode. Likewise cathode. Cathode is an electrode at which reduction takes place. So cathode reaction is nothing but where it is a reduction reaction which consumes electrons. So in electrochemical cell the cathode is taken as a positive electrode. And electrolyte. So electrolyte plays a vital role in giving net reaction. So the electrolyte in any battery should be an ionic conducting medium and that converts ions, that conduct ions between the electrodes so that the above reactions like anodic reaction and cathode reaction can take place and delivers the energy. So these are the three major parts of the battery, namely anode, cathode and electrolyte. Next come to the battery types. So majorly the battery can be broadly classified into three kinds. They are primary battery or non-reversible battery. Second one, secondary battery or reversible battery. Third one, fuel cells or the flow batteries. So based upon the working principle behind the battery, they are classified into simply three kinds. They are primary batteries, secondary batteries and fuel cells. First come to the definition of a primary battery. A primary battery, the basic structure of primary battery is given in the image. See, the working principle of a primary battery is it delivers electrical energy by means of the redox reactions. The primary batteries are disposable because their electrochemical reaction cannot be reversed. That means the net reaction of the primary battery includes irreversible reaction. So here these kind of batteries only deliver electrical energy by means of chemical oxidation and reduction reaction, and in these kind of batteries the net reaction is said to be, or delta G is a negative, that means irreversible. These batteries or deliver only electrical energy by means of redox reactions at their respective electrodes. Once it delivers electrical energy, they are said to be disposed. That means they are not used again and again. So that is why these batteries are said to be non-reversible batteries. are non-rechargeable batteries. Come to the definition of secondary batteries. The structure of secondary battery is in the image. So the secondary batteries are said to be rechargeable batteries. So most of the secondary batteries are used for the purpose of recharging. So because their electrochemical reaction can be reversed by applying a certain voltage to a battery in the opposite direction to that of discharge. So here in this kind of batteries, two net reactions are applicable. So in this kind of batteries, the net reactions are always reversible. So the reversible reactions include the conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy and electrical energy into chemical energy. So these kind of batteries are generally used to store electricity, hence they are said to be storage batteries. So secondary batteries are also called storage batteries or accumulators. So secondary batteries mostly called as rechargeable batteries or accumulators or storage batteries, because in this kind of batteries the net reactions are always reversible. Reversible means these kind of batteries, after discharging all its electrical energy, they can be used again by charging. So while the battery discharging, the delta G value becomes negative, while charging the delta G value becomes positive. So both kind of reactions taking place by this battery always called secondary battery or rechargeable battery. Come to the differences between primary and secondary batteries. So it is a brief comparison of the primary and secondary batteries. First come to the primary battery qualities. Number 1, primary batteries are those which cannot be rechargeable. So primary batteries are not subjected for charging again and again. Why? Because in this, the second one, the net cell reaction is not reversible. So the reaction is not reversible means they cannot be subjected for charging. And third one, these are the relatively inexpensive. And fourth one, examples of these batteries are include dry cell and of course lithium batteries. So this is about the primary batteries. Next come to the second category, secondary batteries. Secondary batteries are those which can be rechargeable. So secondary batteries are subjected for charging and used again and again. And second one, the net cell reaction of secondary battery is always reversible. And third one, these are the relatively expensive. So these kind of batteries are expensive than the primary batteries, and of course even they are expensive, they are used again and again, which means they are more durable. And examples of secondary battery include lead acid battery and lithium ion battery. So it is what the brief differences between primary and secondary batteries. Next come to the primary battery category. In this we have zinc air battery. Zinc air battery. So it is the structure of zinc air battery. First come to the construction of zinc air battery. So here if we see carefully, the zinc metal is given. Here it likes an anode which is comprised of granulated zinc powder, which is mixed with electrolyte, that is KOH, which is often has an addition of gelling agent, so that contact is maintained between the electrolyte and the zinc granules. So here the zinc air batteries that generally store energy in the form of electrochemical energy. They are used to power many electronic gadgets and appliances that we used every day. So come to the construction, anodic material is comprised of zinc powder with electrolyte KOH, which is often the addition of gelling agent, so that the contact is maintained between the electrolyte and the zinc granules. And come to the cathodic part. A cathode is made up of a porous carbon material that allows the contact of oxygen from the air, so that the reaction can be complete and electricity is being produced. So both the anode and cathode are externally connected. Here it is the construction of zinc air battery. And come to the working of zinc air battery. So while this battery is getting discharged, that is during discharge, a mass of zinc particles forms a porous anode which is saturated with an electrolyte. That means oxygen from the air reacts with the cathode and forms hydroxyl ions, which migrate into zinc paste and forms zincate that releases electrons to travel to the cathode. The zincate decays into zinc oxide and water that returns to the electrolyte. The water and the hydroxyl from the anode are recycled to the cathode, so that the water is not consumed. The reactions produced a theoretical 1.65 volts, but it is reduced to the value 1.35 to 1.4 volts in such kind of available cells. So come to the chemical reactions of the zinc air battery. In the zinc air battery, anode is zinc here, which is in the contact of KOH solution. It forms zincate, zinc hydroxide, and being it is anode, it liberates electrons to the external circuit. And in the part of fluid, the zincate that decays into zinc oxide and water, which is returned to the electrolyte. And at the cathode is a porous carbon, we know. So at the cathode, the electrons are being consumed and is a contact of oxygen, so it forms hydroxyl ions. And come to the net reaction, that is overall reaction. When you add all the reactions, we get overall reaction. So all these reactions are added, we get the net reaction, that is 2Zn plus O2 give rise to 2ZnO, zinc oxide. Zinc oxide. So here its total value E0 is said to be 1.59 volts. 1.59 volts. Here the primary battery, zinc air battery, it has some advantages, which means it has a higher energy density but low power. It is very inexpensive material. It has excellent shelf life with a self discharge rate only 2% per year, and it gives no ecological problems. So it is what about zinc air battery? Zinc air battery. Next, come to the zinc air battery advantages. Weight. Come to the weight, it is not necessary to carry a second reactant, and high energy density, competitive with lithium ion, and very inexpensive material, flat discharge voltage. And come to the safety. So these batteries are not prone to catching the fire like lithium ion batteries, and excellent shelf life it has. Here the self discharge rate is only 2% per year, and these are available in the range of button and coil size, and rechargeable high power fuel cells in the process of development. And it has environmental benefits, and it has a high volumetric energy density when compared to other primary batteries. Come to the disadvantages of zinc air battery. So here we carbon dioxide from the air forms a carbonate, we know, which reduces the conductivity, and it is sensitive to extreme temperature and humidity conditions and high self discharge and high internal resistance. And come to the applications, these battery are commonly used for watches and hearing aids, and the large size batteries in the form of prismatic or cylindrical cells used in the telecoms and railway remote signalings, safety lamps at the road and rail construction sites. So these are somewhat applications of primary battery, particularly zinc air battery. And come to the secondary battery category, in which we have lead acid battery. It is the basic structure of lead acid battery. Come to the construction of the lead acid battery. Here it is a secondary battery. First of all, it is also called storage battery or accumulator or rechargeable battery. Come to the construction, the battery consisting of a number of voltaic cells that are connected in series, and in each cell the anode is made of lead material and the cathode is made of lead dioxide. A number of lead plates, that means anodes, are connected in parallel, and a number of lead dioxide plates, that is cathodes, are also connected in parallel manner. That means both anodes and cathodes are connected in parallel manner respectively. The various plates are separated from the adjacent ores by insulators like rubber or glass fibers. This is what the construction, and it has the electrolyte, which is dilute sulfuric acid. Dilute sulfuric acid that is taken as electrolyte in this kind of batteries, lead acid batteries. So here in this battery, the anode is nothing but a lead, that is spongy lead, and cathode is lead dioxide, that is a PbO2, and electrolyte is concentrated sulfuric acid, 36% by mass, of course. And this is what the total net reaction of the battery. Here the net reaction includes reversible reaction. So reversible reaction includes both discharge and charge reaction. So Pb plus PbO2 plus 2H2SO4, so which is nothing but the two electrodes in the contact of electrolyte, so gives discharge that forms PbSO4 and H2O, and while at charging they again forms electrodes in the electrolyte solution. So it is what net reaction. So in this kind of batteries we are going to write both the reactions, that are discharge and charging reactions. So come to the first, discharge reactions. Discharge. So while the lead acid storage battery is in progress or is in use, it becomes discharge. So like any battery, while it is working, which means it getting discharged. So during discharge it delivers electrical energy as an output. So at this stage we have to write the reactions, that is anodic reaction and cathodic reaction and net cell reaction. See, it is the anodic reaction. So during the discharge progress at the anode, the lead is oxidized to Pb plus 2 ions. Pb plus 2 ions, which further combines with SO4 minus 2 ions, that forms PbSO4, that is insoluble coating at the electrode. While it is anode, it liberates electrons to the external circuit. And come to the cathode. So here the cathode material is lead dioxide, PbO2, which is reduced to Pb plus 2 ions, and which further combines with the sulfate ions that forms insoluble PbSO4, and we get net reaction. So when we add both anodic and cathode reaction, we get the net reaction. So from all above equations, it is clear that PbSO4 is precipitated at both the electrodes and H2SO4 is being used up. See here in the reaction carefully, anodic material is spongy lead, cathodic material is lead oxide, and both are contact in the electrolyte called H2SO4. So by means here on the both electrodes sulfate coating is there. So and also there is no sulfuric acid, by means it is being used. So as a result, the concentration of sulfuric acid decreases, and hence the density of sulfuric acid falls below, and these batteries needs charging. So here in this reaction, on the both electrodes sulfate coating gets coated over, so which means it ruins the battery. So in order to working properly, this battery is subjected for charging and then operate. So this is what about discharging reactions. And come to the charging reactions, of the battery. This is the charging cycle, and during the charging we should pass electric current in the opposite direction to that of discharge. The electrode reactions so that get reversed. As a result, lead is deposited on anode and lead oxide on the cathode. The density of sulfuric acid is being increased. So here for this charging reactions, we also written the both electrode reactions like cathode and anode here. So students, please remember, while charging the battery we should pass electric current which is in the opposite direction to that of discharge, so that the net reactions or the electrode reactions can get reversed here. That means cathode that works as anode and anode that works as cathode here, so that net reaction is also can be reversed. And come to the net reaction. So this is what the total net reaction. If you see carefully, the total net reaction, it forms anode Pb, cathode PbO2 and electrolyte H2SO4. So that is what the charging reaction of the battery. So once it charges completely, it is being used for the next time. So in this both discharging and charging, the cell operates into two categories. While discharging of any secondary battery, it works as like electrochemical cell. While charging of secondary battery, it works like electrolytic cell. So we know in the previous session what is electrochemical and what is electrolytic cell. Electrochemical cell means the net reaction is the conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy, and come to the electrolytic cell, the net reaction is electrical energy to chemical energy. So by means a simple conclusion is the working principle of secondary battery is reversible. In this, during discharge the battery operates like electrochemical cell, and during charging the battery operates like electrolytic cell. So this is what about the secondary battery, particularly lead acid battery. The EMF of this battery is about 2 volts. So this is what the primary category and secondary category of the batteries. If you have any doubts, please contact.